I think I'm very excited about the fact that Foundation for Creative Social Research could nurture creative theory for 10 years. And as we know that it was nurtured by an organization called Developing Countries Research Center for 10 years before that. And so the idea that emerged in 80s has survived in this way, and I'm sure it will move on for many more years, and new things we will achieve in this process. I'm very happy also to see that, as I told Professor Vajpayee, that I'm relaxed today, because I think the new generation has already taken over. Is there to look into things, and I did do nothing this time. I just was relaxing and seeing how things are functioning. Foundation for Creative Social Research is rather informal organization. It's a registered body, but rather informal organization, and therefore we needed more formal association to run this project. But Foundation's advantage is that since it is informal, it can nurture a lot of things. And 3-4 projects that we are now nurturing without any financial support, so-called. One is religion, spirituality, and consciousness, and soon we are going to have a conference on spirituality and aesthetics in November, which will be partly performance and partly speaking on aesthetics. So intellectuals and performers coming together. This is organized with Ray of Wisdom Association. Second one is Kahat Kabir group, which is now just emerging, and it's a popular philosophy. I'm very much thankful to Professor Vajpayee, who has supported this group, which is in a very incipient form, organized with the students, and this will organize a kind of interaction between Kabir Panthis and scholars in a village in Janakpur. And a lot of students are from different disciplines working on Kabir, and they are going to join this group, so which I think is very exciting project. Again, there is another project which you will be very happy to know, is called Vimarsh Cafe. This is a small group, 3-4 people, without much funding. What they have started is very exciting thing. 1 or 2 people read the PhD thesis and interview the PhD scholar. And it's 1 hour discussion, and it's really achieving a lot of heights in terms of we are getting feedback from many people. We hope this will further flourish, and we want to see if Vimarsh Cafe can also initiate a process of book discussion, like Jigyasa's group is publishing a book review called The Dark. This initiative of the students from JNU. And so I have a lot of hopes that despite moving in a phase where universities' spaces are shrinking, the students are creating their own spaces. And I'm sure there will be many creative theories gradually, many such organizations also emerging. CTC this year, when we were deciding about the topic, we had long discussion about this. In fact, I remember discussion with Professor Madhulika Banerjee, who initiated reflections on technology back in 90s. And I still remember the seminar in which he presented this idea that technology is not class neutral. And we were kind of not very happy with the argument at that time, kept debating about that, gradually got convinced, but she has nurtured that idea for a long time. And not that we agree with everything that she thinks. I remember almost a couple of hours discussion on this. How do we look at technology, and what are the new dimensions emerging now? So what we think now is that technology, for the first time in the history of humanity, has moved from influencing the senses to the human sensibilities. Till now, I think technology was basically influencing our senses, empowering senses to see things more, collecting more data for analysis. Now it is actually entering in the cognitive process itself. It is getting into the genome editing itself. So human beings' internal dimensions are being influenced. So that is the thing that we are worried about. And it is very difficult to live without technology, but it is more difficult to live with technology. So what do we do with that? How do we handle it? I'm sure without technology, probably it was not possible to have Professor Lama here to share the poetry that is written by technology. But then we have to be really aware of the techno-capitalism and what I call the capitalism without any idea of common good. We are entering in a phase of capitalism which I think is deeply passing through a crisis of any philosophy, any supportive philosophy. The idea of common good that was part of the capitalism from very beginning is completely abandoned now. So this capitalism is not only technocratic, but also it will produce what Professor Vajpayee said, very authoritarian state. It is not one state, one regime. It's beyond regime. The nature of a state itself is changing. So we have to see what is the relationship between democracy and technology, between state and technology. I think the new state that is emerging is a very techno-authoritarian state. Whichever regime will come, it will be very difficult for regime also to handle the state, the way state is emerging. So this difference between regime and state, I think we have to acknowledge and see how technology is influencing that. So many questions are unfolding now. The way technology is influencing our cognitive process, that one of the questions that we are really concerned about is the cognitive freedom. Cognitive freedom was always a problem for human beings. I mean, Gramsci's theory of hegemony or the colonial hegemonic dominance and Gandhi's effort to fight that out, create a counter-hegemony, all those things were earlier there, but now it has taken a new dimension. The new dimension enters in the realm of consciousness, which is being now controlled in such a way that there was a recent film in which a girl's mind was hacked and she was doing whatever the person wanted her to do. So this is the kind of thing happening not only at the individual level, but also at the political level and the social level. So these are the challenges that we have to fight out, and I think where Madhulika and I differed, and we have to really talk more on that, that merely critique of technology might not help us. We also have to simultaneously find out how do we deal with it at individual level, at social level. How do we select socially important and socially responsible technology? How do we guide the state to move towards invest money in socially responsible technology? We can't live without technology, but we can definitely guide the progress. Similarly, how do we individually fight against this cognitive domination? What can we do? The poetry probably is a protest against this cognitive domination, but poetry cannot be done by everybody. So human mind, which is reflexive mind, the cognitive freedom is essential thing of ours. So at one level, probably we have to fight for cognitive freedom as human right. But at the same time, we also have to empower our capability as human beings to acquire that cognitive freedom and to responsibly use the cognitive freedom. So I'm sure in these 2 days, we will have a lot of discussion on these things. And I think this time, Creative Theory Association for Creative Theory has decided that we will devote the entire year on this. So it is the beginning of a project where we will invite more people to have debates, more younger scholars to write papers, to debate and discussion in smaller groups and smaller seminars, so that we can publish something. And maybe towards the end, as we were thinking a long cherished debate, a dream, I think Professor Mohanty's that small slip I still am holding with me, where he wrote, one day we should have journal for creative theory. So maybe by the end of the next year, we will think of publishing a journal of creative theory, which will incorporate these debates and meaningfully contribute to the global debates going on. Thank you very much. I welcome once again.